Hi, I'm Cody here today with Red, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about air filter maintenance.
Over the years, I've seen countless bikes come in needing costly repairs that could have been avoided had they properly maintained and serviced their air filter. Whenever you're servicing your air filter, you want to look around and make sure any debris that's around the edge of the air filter, that it doesn't fall into the intake tract, and also take note of how much dirt is inside your air box. So we'll pull out the air filter. Whenever you have your air filter out, inspect the inside to see if there's any debris that has made its way past the filter into the intake boot. And you always want to cover that opening whenever you're servicing your filter. So the way we're going to do it is pull the filter off of its cage, grab a plastic bag, and put it over the opening. Just to keep that sealed off and keep any additional dirt out of there. There are many different products out there available for servicing your air filter. There's air filter cleaners, which you always want to use to clean the debris out of your air filter. There's aerosols and pourables. There's also many different varieties of oil out there, aerosols and pourables as well. And with any of the aerosol products, it's important to remember that the aerosol comes out very cold, so let it warm up before you work the air filter to avoid from breaking the cells of the foam from them being frozen. We also have some grease here, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Now we have our air filter out, we're going to go ahead and use some of our air filter cleaner. Generally take it and pour it from the inside out. That way you don't have anything that's washing the dirt into the filter. A lot of times they recommend that you submerge them, but working it in there good, making sure that you get all of the oil saturated with the cleaner and the dirt. Whenever you're working the cleaner into the filter, you want to make sure not to wring or put a lot of stress onto the fabric. That way you don't tear the cells of the foam. And when you're done with this part, then you're ready to go rinse with soap and water. And remember, rinse it from the inside out. And after you get your air filter clean, rinse it out with soap and water and let it thoroughly dry. It's a good idea to once again inspect, check the foam, make sure it's in good condition. If your foam looks like this and you have tears and it's starting to fall apart and things of that nature, the glue's starting to come apart, it's a good idea to replace that and not run that one again. It's also a good idea, if you can, to have a spare air filter on hand, so whenever you clean yours, you have one that's ready to go. Now we're going to oil it. You can use aerosols or pourables. I use pourable. Want to get a good, even saturation, if you will. Then you want to take it and work it into the filter. Again, not wringing it, just kind of kneading it in. Depending on the type of riding you do, depends on how much saturation you want of the oil. Of course, any excess oil will drip off of the filter. Not enough oil will allow debris to come through the filter, and that's the whole purpose of the oil, is to catch the debris as it comes through the fibers of the foam. If you're using an aerosol, again, you want that to warm up before you start working it into the filter. It'll actually comes out very cold and it can freeze the fibers of the foam and cause it to tear if you start working it too soon when it's frozen. You can look at the inside of the filter and see that you have good saturation with the oil coming all the way through. And then we're ready to go back on the cage. We want to clean some dirt and debris out of this air box where it might actually catch on the filter going in. So I'm going to use a penetrating lubricant just to help keep it wet so it doesn't dry out and fall down. We'll check our cage, make sure there's no dirt on it. And that's when you want to take some grease, put it on the sealing lip so that no dirt can get past that and get into your engine. It's always important to grease the lip because that's just one less place that dirt can get through, and it ensures that you have a better seal. Even if you have a dual density foam, it's still a good idea to grease it because a little precaution never hurt. Now we're going to install this air filter. You want to make sure again that there's no debris that's fallen down into the intake boot. And engage it into the top hole. Make sure that it is seated properly around the sealing area and that the cage fits well. Lock it in.
Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for next week's edition of Ajax Tech Tip videos.